Father James Martin, will you please approach the podium so we may honor you for your impact as a communicator and your invaluable contributions to the Catholic Church and society. After graduating from the University of Pennsylvania's Wharton School of Business, you went to work for General Electric. After several years, you realized you were searching for more. You became more involved in the Catholic Church. You joined the Society of Jesus, or the Jesuits, in 1988, and you were ordained in 1999. Your early ministry brought you to such places as hospitals, housing projects, and community centers. In Nairobi, Kenya, you worked with refugees to help them start businesses. In time, your service to others would take another form. Blessed with an extraordinary gift for communicating and connecting with others, you would emerge as one of the most influential writers and commentators on matters relating to the Jesuits and the Catholic Church. Prolific does not begin to do justice to your contributions, Father Jim Martin. Your articles have appeared in such publications as America, where you serve as editor-at-large, as well as Commonweal, U.S. Catholic, the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, the Boston Globe, Chicago Tribune, the Philadelphia Inquirer, and many more. Your writing challenges the mind and touches the heart. You have authored 13 books and edited several others. Many have been New York Times bestsellers and recognized with Christopher Awards. You have written about your own spiritual journey, the lives of Catholic saints, and the importance of humor and joy in a life of faith and spirituality. You've written about Jesus, the Jesuits, 9/11, and most recently the book, Building a Bridge, How the Catholic Church and the LGBT community can enter into a relationship of respect, compassion, and sensitivity. You have received honorary doctorates from numerous Jesuit institutions, and in 2017, Pope Francis appointed you as a consultant to the Vatican Secretariat for Communications. Always honest and gracious in your praise and critique of the Catholic Church, you preach and model for others a gospel of mercy, love, and inclusion. And in the tradition and spirit of the Jesuits, you have always striven to meet people where they are. You, Father James Martin, continually by going precisely where they are. In addition to having served as the chaplain of the Colbert Report, you actively engage with others on social media and through a variety of national news outlets. Your many followers and fans, which includes Catholics and non-Catholics, religious and non-religious alike, value your wisdom, humor, and pastoral influence. Father James Martin, you are a prophetic voice for our times and a compassionate builder of bridges. We are thrilled to welcome you back to our campus and to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, and to ask you to be our commencement speaker. Congratulations.
First of all, thanks to Father Sundberg and the Board of Trustees for this honor. By tradition, Father Chepe and I are now officially members of the class of 2019. So, my fellow graduates and fellow Red Hawks, congratulations. I look forward to seeing you at our 50th reunion, when you will be a spry 71 and I will be 108. So please be nice to me and speak up. I am especially honored to be part of a school that has embraced its Jesuit identity so fully. I have been fortunate to visit Seattle University several times now and know how incredible a place it is. I know that you're proud to take just one of many examples that so many of you engage in community service. 80% of you, 3 times the national average for college students, That's incredible. And it is. And one of the best expressions of the Jesuit ideal that I could imagine of being a man or woman for others. Along with that comes something else that Seattle U is well known for: your incredible emphasis on diversity and inclusion, and your embrace of what we Jesuits call cora personalis, care for the whole person. With that comes the recognition that all students here, no matter what religion, rich or poor, young or old, black, brown, or white, straight or LGBTQ, are all beloved children of God. I am so impressed by the ethos of your school, of our school, and how you live it out. So I'm proud to be among you today and proud to be able to participate in a small way in this great heritage and on your great day. But you know, Jesuits aren't supposed to be too proud. You know the story of the Jesuit, Franciscan, and Dominican who are on their way to Seattle U, and they get into this big argument about what the best religious order is, and they swerve and hit a telephone pole and die. So they're pretty bummed, because you know they're dead. But they're excited to be in heaven, you know, after all these years of working. And after they greet St. Peter, they're ushered into God's big throne room, which is true, that's what God has. In case you haven't taken any theology classes here. And God says to the Franciscan from his great golden throne, "Son of Saint Francis." That's exactly what he sounds like with the echo. "Son of Saint Francis, what do you believe?" And the Franciscan looks up at the throne and says, "I believe in a life of poverty, which is how I tried to serve you." And God says, "Very good, welcome to heaven." And then God says to the Dominican, "Son of Saint Dominic, what do you believe?" And the Dominican looks up at his throne and says, "I believe in a life of scholarship, which is how I tried to serve you." And God says, "Very good, welcome to heaven." And from his great golden throne, God looks at the Jesuit priest and says, "Son of Saint Ignatius Loyola, what do you believe?" And the Jesuit looks up and says, "I believe you're in my seat." And that's a true story. So we're not supposed to be proud. And I am not too proud to say that I know that you want me to be brief. So I will be brief today. I want to just give you, my fellow graduates, a few pieces of advice that will make your life a lot easier. And I'm serious, if you try to put these into effect, you'll lead a lot happier life. Number one, the first thing is three things that go together. You ready? You're not God, this isn't heaven, and don't be a jerk. Okay? I kind of cleaned up that last one. So first, you're not God. So stop trying to do everything, fix everything in your life and everyone else's, and make everything perfect. You can't. Why? Because even if you didn't take one theology course, go on one retreat, or once set foot in the beautiful chapel of St. Ignatius in the last 4 years, you should have learned this lesson. You are not God. So stop acting as if you were God. As the saying goes, there's good news and there's better news. You know this one? The good news is that there is a Messiah. The better news is it's not you. Second part, this is not heaven. Try not to expect life to be perfect. Once you realize that, you'll be able to enjoy life more. You'll be more grateful. and you'll complain less, which means you won't annoy your friends as much. Finally, look, don't be a jerk. Look, you might be sick or tired, or you lost your cell phone, your laptop, your boyfriend or girlfriend just dumped you, your car broke down, your first job after Seattle U isn't working out quite like you hoped. Okay, you can be sad, disappointed, or angry, and you can share your struggles with your friends, but no need to pass along your anger. Just because you're upset doesn't mean you have to act like a jerk. Number 2, you can be your best self. Look, God has already made each of you a wonderful creation, but God's not done with you. Because I bet that you have an idea of the kind of person that you want to be one day. Maybe freer, kinder, more generous, more grateful. Well, what is that? That's a call from God to become the kind of person you are meant to be, to constantly grow and change and develop into your best self. To make good decisions in your life, just ask yourself, what would the person I want to become do? If you make that commitment, if you really try to live by that question, soon you will find that you have become that person. 3, you can't force people to approve of you, agree with you, be impressed with you, love you, or even like you, so stop trying. Here's a confession. Don't tell anybody. I spent most of my 20s trying to get everyone to like me. But no matter what you do, some people will approve of you, others won't. No matter how nice you are, some people will like you, others won't. I mean, everybody didn't like Jesus. He was a pretty nice guy. So just relax and accept the fact that some people will like you and others won't. I'll tell you, over the last 2 years, I've been doing a lot of ministry with LGBTQ people. And that's earned me a lot of hatred, lots of name-calling online, protests at events, and all that. But you know what my mantra is? Who cares? Even if you're trying to do the right thing, not everyone is going to love you, like you, or even approve of you. Just remember that, and it will save you tons of heartache. Strive for the kind of detachment that St. Ignatius asks us to do. 4, be yourself. You know, sometimes we think, if only I were like him or her. We end up spending our time comparing ourselves to other people. But here's the problem, and psychologists tell us this. We compare what we know as our life of good and bad, because, we know our lives really well, with someone else's life. But we focus only on the good in their life. So guess what? Our life always loses out. Stop comparing your real life with their life on Instagram. Besides, you're meant to be yourself. You are a beautiful creation of God. And being holy, my fellow graduates, means being you, not another person. Being holy means being you. Man or woman, rich or poor, young or old, short or tall, gay, straight, lesbian or transgender or queer, you are all beautiful people. Remember, God doesn't make crap, as St. Ignatius said, or should have said. 5, and here's maybe the most important thing of all. Be kind. Be kind. Even with a degree all the kind people are in the back. Even with a Seattle U degree, a good job, and some success in life, if you're not kind, what's the point? No matter what religious tradition you're from, or even if you're from no religious tradition, 99% of the ethical life is being kind to people. From the homeless person on the street, who may be easy to be kind to the refugee or migrant, who others may tell you not to be kind to your family or people in your workplace, who might test your kindness most of all. Even if you feel that you have nothing left to give, you can give someone the gift of kindness. You can live out your heritage of being a Seattle U grad and being a man and woman for others, the Jesuit ideal, simply by being kind. Look, you're going to run into a lot of jerks out there in the world, people who are greedy and arrogant, and to use a word that we need to resurrect, mean. Don't be one of them. Be kind. You will find that being kind makes your life and the world a lot more beautiful. And you know, kindness isn't just about being nice. Kindness lived on a larger social, global level means supporting programs that help everyone live healthy and satisfying lives. So it's not enough just to be nice to the person who is poor. You also have to work to end poverty. It's not enough just to be nice to the migrant or the refugee. You have to support programs and vote for people who really do welcome the stranger. Which is what Jesus asks us to do in the Gospels. It's not enough to be nice to LGBT people. You have to work to break down structures that keep them separate, that keep them apart, that keep them excluded. Kindness lived out in the world is social justice. My fellow Seattle U grads, I can't give you any money since I'm a Jesuit, and as you know, we take a vow of poverty. I can't give you any more advice since Father Sundborg asked me to be brief, and Jesuits take a vow of obedience. And I certainly can't give you a kiss because I take a vow of chastity. But I can give you those few pieces of advice. And I guarantee that even if you remember only one of them, it will help you to be happier. Because you deserve to be happy. Why? Not only because you are all beautiful children of God, but because today, on top of that, you are something really, really special. Seattle U grads. Thank you. Thank you very much for this honor. And to quote St. Ignatius of Loyola, go Red Hawks.